Hello, good morning, everyone. So, right this morning, we're going to talk about ethical issues in business. But before anything else, what is ethical? So, when we say ethical, it means that it's correct. There's nothing wrong with it. From the word ethics. So, when we say issues, so it's something like there is something went wrong. So, now let us talk about what are the ethical issues in business. Ano nga ba yung mga mali na gawaan sa negosyo? Right now. But before that one, allow me to read to you about the ethical issue. So ethical issues is an acting ethically in business means building a company around integrity and trust as well as complying with regulations. So it is very important to have that integrity, integridad sa negosyo. Also trust, pagtitiwala to comply with the regulations of what are the rules in a business. However, there are many other issues that fall under the ethical issues in business definition. So what are those? So we have those empathy. So when we say empathy, it means that the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. So we have to understand and share the feelings. So that's what we mean by empathy. Other thing is that diversity, the differences of one another, and also we have the acceptance and carrying out business in accordance to the company's values. So it is very important to know what are the values in the company. Now let's talk about the types of ethical issues in business. So right this morning, we will tackle about the different types of ethical issues in business. So first, we have discrimination. So it's very common if we hear discrimination, it is very common to all of us. So what is this discrimination mean in business? So discrimination is not just unethical. So when we say ethical, it's mean wrong, right? So unethical, so probably it's not correct or it's wrong. So it's not just unethical, but in many cases it is also illegal. So of course, discrimination is a negative one's attitude. So it is very illegal. So there are statutes to protect employees from discrimination based on age, gender, race, religion, disability, and more. Nonetheless, the gender and race pay gaps show that discrimination is still rampant. Alright, so in business, we cannot deny the fact that there are always discrimination about the gender, about your gender, about also your race, in what particular ethnic group you came from. So that is still rampant nowadays. So that's why we need to know about this one in order for us to avoid this kind of discrimination is in business. So including discrimination in this business is that let's say for example firing employees when they reach a certain age or giving fewer promotions to people of ethnic minorities. So it seems like let's say for example it's very common especially this previous time that let's say for example that subanin man ka, so it seems like gina-discriminate ang mga subanin people, but they are discriminating subanin people nga porket subanin wala dili kaya, but no, they are wrong. So regarding with that, we should be fair enough no matter what that diversity or the races we came from. Next, let us talk about the harassment. When we talk about harassment, so it means it's something like verbal abuse, sexual abuse, teasing. When we say teasing means yaga-yagaan ka or yaga-yagaan ka. Yes, yaga-yagaan ka sa negosyo. Also, racial slurs. When we say racial slurs, it means that insultohon ang imong pagkaikaw. Right? So, harassment can come from anyone in the company as well as from the customers. So, pwedeng employee to employee or the manager to from the owner to towards to the employee, also customers towards the employee. So it's very important for us to know about regarding with this. In particular, it is an ethical issue for the business if a supervisor is aware of harassment from a client and takes no action to prevent it. So if you are the owner and then you don't take any actions to prevent it, so that's we can consider also as harassment. So we should avoid that one. We should care, we should take in actions in every problems in our business. Next we have an ethical accounting. So from the word unethical accounting, when we say about accounting, so it means computing, right? So unethical accounting so means mali ang pag-count sa negosyo. So, publicly traded companies may engage in ethical accounting to appear more profitable than they actually are. In other cases, an accountant or bookkeeper may change record to skim off the top. So it's very rampant. I don't think so if it's very rampant, but it seems like there are people or there are employees that it seems like they are trying to change the records in order for them to have their own to have own benefits for themselves. So we should know regarding with this in order for us to avoid bankruptcy as well. Next, we have health and safety. So another type of ethical issue that is often protected by law is health and safety. So it's very important because according to many that health is wealth. So because if your employees are not health enough, so how they could be have that how can I say if they are not healthy, so how they can manage or how they can work well in your business. And if they are not safety and your business, so how they are going to continue with it to work in your business. So it's very important to have that health and safety. All right. So let's have this next. As well as injuries, failing to take worker safety into account can lead to psychosocial risk like job insecurity or lack of autonomy. So it's very important to know about the health of your employees to avoid work related stress. All right. Now let's have this next one. Abuse of leadership. So when we talk about abuse of leadership, all right, so abuse of power often manifests as harassment or discrimination. However, those in a leadership role can also use their authority to pressure employees to skip over some aspects of proper procedure to save time. So also, it doesn't mean that you are the leader or you are the owner or you are the manager of the business, of a certain business, and then it seems like you're abusing your authority being a leader. So that's part of an ethical issues in business. So regarding with that, you should uh, if you're the leader of you or if you are the owner, so you must put your feet into their shoes. That what if? So you should consider you have also that considerations to your employees in order for you to as a leader or the manager to your towards your employees, you must have that harmonious relationship because if you have that harmonious relationship with your um employees, it seems like your business will gain more because you have that good relationship. All right, now let's have this next number six: nepotism and favoritism. So, what do I mean by nepotism? So, nepotism is when a company hires someone for being a family member. Let's say, for example, I myself and I have my daughter, and then even my daughter is not good enough, not literate enough in that particular business of us, and then I hire her because she's part of a family member. So that's what we call nepotism. So we should know because in business it's not about being a family. If you want to gain more or to have that profit, so it's not about having family, but those who are good enough or literate enough in the business, that's the most important is. Alright? Next we have here the favoritism. So when we say favoritism, occurs when a manager treats an employee better than other workers for personal reasons. Let's say, for example, the manager have feelings towards the employer. To have towards her employee. So, oh, it cannot be. You should be fair enough together with all of the members or all of the employees in your company. Right, next we have number 7, that is privacy. So employees have recently found that the distinction between work life and personal life has become less clear. This mainly due to the advances in technology. So that's also the reason that there's no difference between, there's a big difference, but it seems like they are expressing themselves more on social media, and they don't have they're not keeping their privacy in terms of their business. So you should be careful enough regarding with your business. You must have that privacy, okay, in order for it to be not kidnapped or having it hold up. So it's very scary. So if you don't want like that, so you must have that distinction between your work life and also your personal life para dili maapektuhan ang negosyo sa kung unsa ang imong kinabuhi. Okay? Now let's have this next, the corporate espionage. So when we say espionage, that's mean the practice of spying or using spies. So it seems like quiet, not good at all in the business, having that corporate espionage. So let's read this one. So, okay, the opposite to the above can also happen. Workers can misuse company data. So we should be careful enough to have that a correct data or the appropriate data for the business. And an employee may steal, misquote intellectual property, or provide a competitor with information about a client. So it cannot be. Usually, when this happens, so this is monetary purposes, but it can also help an employee secure a position at another firm. So, how to avoid ethical issues in business? So, think of it for a while. If you are a business owner, so how you are going to avoid those 8 ethical issues in business? All right. Let's talk about this. Actually, there are a few key tactics that every business owner needs to implement. So, what are those? First, we have to implement about policies, company policies. So we have to make sure that the employees know all about the policy in our companies, especially when they start working at your business. It also includes the privacy policy as well as the social media policy. The first that should tell workers what computer activity and other information uh, you will be able to access. Let's say, for example, on your business, and then you, for sure, that the business we're going to provide you in laptops in order for it to have that to access about the company or to have that informations or to gather some data. But if that laptop is for your work, then that's for only for your work, not for your personal intentions. Second, should lay out how you expect employees to behave publicly on social media. So, if you are the business owner, so you should know or you should be able to tell them all to your employees. Next, we have here monitor only pertinent information on laptops and other devices. So you should have to monitor, and that's only pertinent information. So it may be necessary to track employee activity to some extent. Yes, that's very important. However, let's, yeah, especially if you're concerned that workers are spending too much work time on personal activities, so no. If that could be, if it is about the personal activities, so it seems like your business will be lead into the bankruptcy. So you don't like that one, right? So you should monitor only pertinent information on laptops and other devices of your employees. Next, we have provide ongoing training. So, how important training is? So, of course, we all know that having training is our guide on how we are going to deal with some problems in our business, on how we are going to achieve, on how we're going to increase more or to make our company or our business more, how can I say, to make our business or our company more effective or more, how can I say, to gain more profits. All right, so also, if you're going to provide ongoing training, so it's very advantage to you because it seems like it is help to prevent harassment in your business. It's worthwhile seeking outside support for this from reputable agency or professional. So of course it's very important, as low quality learning training can even make the problem worse. So if kung mag-training na gani, so you should hire those, or you should call, or yeah, you should invite those speakers who are really professional enough to to conduct training about your business. Kay kung dili gani na siya o low quality training ra gani, so it seems like may pag wala na lang. Kay it seems like it make the problem worse. So be careful on that one. Next, we have here require employees to sign a non-disclosure agreement. When we say non-disclosure, means failure to reveal or disclose an information. So, you should tell everything, nothing but the truth. All right? So truth, not so if you have that non-disclosure agreement that your employees have to sign with it, so it's very advantage to the business in order for us to avoid bankruptcy, of course. Next, we have here create a meritocracy from the word merit. So it seems like you're going to award those who are really doing their best. You're going to reward your employees according to their performance. It seems like, oh, I get a reward, so oh, I mean the business owner have the reward, so I must do my best to have that reward. So it seems like create meritocracy. It seems like boasting the employees, or having that motivation to employees to know more about your business. So all right, now then lastly we have here take an active role in daily activities. So it's very important to have that active role in daily activities because you are able in the day-to-day activities at your company. This could help you to detect harassment, of course, and its early stages and preventive to avoid mga kawatan sa negosyo, whether monetary or company materials. So, very important to have that active role in daily activities in terms of your business. And then we have also here double check your books on a regular basis. So if you don't want to check it daily basis, so it seems like you are not just motive I mean there's a big tendency nga kawatan jud ka because you're not uh, kawatan imong negosyo because you are not having that checking in your books kung nangaunsa na ba imong negosyo. So it's very important to check in all aspects about your business, especially the books, all the records. All right, then yeah, that's all for this morning. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you've learned something from me. And I hope that if since that we are all students, I hope and I pray that we could be a successful a business owner someday. So that's all for this. Thank you, and God bless everyone. Bye bye.